focus is. You got a question?
In the Bible, Esther was a queen.
People, right? How hypocritical is it for white people to have us in captivity, right? But won't allow us to be in our own. They won't allow us to be to ourselves. They won't just leave us alone. They got to have their hand in everything, right?
Room on the chariot, chromed out, 1200. What we doing? Getting money. What I'm doing? Getting money. What they doing? Hating on us, but they never cross. Y'all should all be the kingdom in your house with a boss. And I be stunning like my Abba. Stunning like my Abba. I be stunning like my Abba. Stunning like my Abba. I say, all praises. Stunning like my Abba. I be stunning like my Abba. I be stunning like my Abba. I'm a young stunner. Stunning like my Abba. Stunning like my Abba. I be stunning like my Abba. I say.
And Kahalaya, how about Shemi Shine, right? That's all praise to the Most High God. In the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Real name is Yahweh Shai, right? And I went to a graduation today, right? And as I'm in the graduation, right, I'm noticing the crowd, right? I'm noticing the attendees, the scholars, right, as they're getting ready to walk across the stage. Now, unbeknownst to me, right, my niece, the person I went up there to see, of course, is magna cum laude, right? Meaning what, right? Highest, well, not highest of honors, of high honor, or high, what's the word I'm looking for? It starts with a D. Basic meaning like they're separate, right? High distinction, there we go, of high distinction. Well, the only thing that's above that is the summa cum laude, right, which means highest of honors, right? That's the 1 to 5%. And I got to thinking about it. It took me, I don't want to say I had an epiphany. I'd say I'd rather have a point of view, right? I had a perspective change, right, of what it looks like when we're going to receive our crown. Because I'm looking at something, right? Get 1 Corinthians 9 and 24. I'm thinking about something. I'm like, man, every time they get to walking across the stage, people shout in honor, right? People shout, they're clapping them, yay! They're clapping them, yes! Right? And I realized that that's not even a shadow of what's going to happen for those that fear God, right? You got it? Go ahead.
1 Corinthians 9 and what?
24. It's like at the end.
The 1 Corinthians 9 and 24. Know you not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize, so grant that ye may obtain.
Right? So that's what we're doing, right? Because when you look at how college is done, right? When you look at how just this truth in contrast to college, right? You go through obstacles, right? We have a brother in the camp who went through cancer while he's still in school, right? While he's here, right? That's the brother Yaquab, of course. Y'all know who it is, right? He went through college. He went through these obstacles, tribulations for years trying to get this diploma. You can say it's a form of a crown, right? And when you start thinking about the summa cum laude or the magna cum laude, right? See, because people talk about college, right? They say you have people that are not made for college. You have people that are made for college, or they'll say that those that come out of college, they understand discipline, perseverance, right? Endurance. So I'm looking at that. I'm thinking about all that while I'm at this graduation, right? And I'm thinking, man, when you're thinking about this walk, right, we have to endure until the end that we can receive a form of diploma, right? A form of crown, a form of honor from the Father, right? Let me see. You got a precept?
Yeah, I got two.
Hold 1 Corinthians 2 and 9.
Okay, this is the book of 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 7. That the trial of your faith be...
Right, go ahead.
That the trial of your faith being much more precious than of gold that perish, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahushua.
See, because that's the trial of our faith, right? It's like gold, right? It's something that can't necessarily be valued. And when you look at the scriptures, right, when they talk about what's going to happen, right? Whenever we receive that salvation, whenever we receive that crown of life. My bad, get James 1 and 12. Not hold that, but get James 1 and 12 first. When you start thinking about it, right, you can't really put into words what we're really going to experience. Right? You got another precept? You can't really put into words what we're gonna experience when that day happens, right? We try our best. Even the prophets, they try their best to really put a picture for us, right? Go ahead, you got something?
This is the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life.
He shall receive what?
The crown of life.
See, because when you think about the tribulations, right, that you go through in college, right, when you're going through these classes, right, you have courses that are due by 11:59. You have times where you're busy all day, but guess what? That assignment is still due at 11:59 p.m. So you're fighting, right? You're enduring this hardship, all to receive a corruptible crown. Because if America go down tomorrow, what's that degree mean? Not shit. If the economy crash, what good is a diploma for you? Not saying not to get your education, people, because we do advocate for brothers and sisters seeking knowledge and gaining education, right? Because you want to learn. But we're talking about the difference between running after a incorruptible crown versus racing for a corruptible crown, right? A lot of people, they get out of college and they let college make them. They think just because we got a video on the YouTube, y'all check out the video on the YouTube. We'll put a link in the description, right? A sister felt like if you didn't come from a certain school or if you ain't got a certain level of education, you can't teach the Bible. Let alone, regardless what you got that education in, you just can't teach the Bible if you don't have a high level of education, right? Because they run to seek a corruptible crown. You got a precept?
I got two.
Go ahead.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 2 and verse 42. I, Esdras, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people who I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them, there was a young man of high stature.
Wait, because look, this is the end of our faith, right? This is the end. Esdras is seeing the end of it. He's seeing the vision. He's like, at the end of this, right, this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing people clothed in linen, right, or in white. They got palms in their hand, but yet there's somebody in the middle of them whose stature is higher than the rest. Keep going.
And upon the head of every one he placed a crown.
A crown, right? You got your diploma. Your proof that you've endured the test of this life. The proof that you've endured to the end. So now that crown that you are receiving is life. Keep going.
Let me get to the point. Verse 45. He answered and said unto me, these be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal and have confessed the name of God. Right. Now are they crowned and receiving palms.
See, because you're talking about putting off that mortal flesh, right? Putting off that mortal body. That's sin. That's the trial of your faith. When you come into this truth, right? When you come into this faith, you understand that your war is not a physical war. It's not carnal. You're not doing things where you have to go whoop somebody or fight physical people. Not all the time. Because don't get it twisted about Space City. We're going to get out there if we got to, right? But understand, that's not our war. That's not the focal point. The focal point is that spiritual battle, right? That spiritual trial and tribulation that we go through as a people, especially coming into this faith. We're fighting to get a incorruptible crown, something that regardless if this world passes away, guess what? That crown, that diploma is never going to lose its value. You got something else?
I got two.
Keep going.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3 and verse 4. For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality, and having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For God proved them and found them worthy for himself, as gold in the furnace had he tried them and received them as a burnt offering.
Because when you're thinking about gold, right? When you're thinking about purifying gold, you are purging out the impurities. When you're smacking the hammer, right? When the smith is creating his masterpiece, when he strikes that metal, it's tripping away the impurities, right? I know you got Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 next.
But I got Matthew 25. I'll go back to Wisdom of Solomon.
Yeah, get Wisdom of Solomon 5. But you know what? Get Matthew 20.
Well, I got that good job with faithful servant.
Get Wisdom of Solomon 5 first. Then we're going to hold that, right? Whenever you're thinking about what gold, right? Why the scriptures liken a man to gold. You know what make gold valuable? You know what make gold valuable? What makes gold a valuable mineral or a valuable metal is the fact is its malleability, right? First you got the eye candy, because gold looks good. Think about you got some gold on, you look good, right? But then you talk about malleability because gold has a lot of properties that are very useful, that make it very useful. It makes it worth having. Gold can be used for a lot of things, right? So a man is likened to gold because when you're tried through the furnace, you're malleable. You can be proficient in any circumstance, right? But then you're durable because gold is strong. So you're durable, you're malleable, right? And guess what? You eye candy because we the realest brews on this side of the Jordan. Listen, right? There's nothing better than an Israelite man. There's nothing better than a black, Hispanic, and Native American man, right? We're eye candy. I know we are. That's why the nations can't help but siphon off of us. They need us, right? How hypocritical is it for white people to have us in captivity, right? But won't allow us to be in our own. They won't allow us to be to ourselves. They won't just leave us alone. They gotta have their hand in everything, right? You ever been around a white person that just can't help but being around niggas? Like they just gotta be in the mess, right? They're a wigaboo, a wind monkey, right? They gotta be in our mess all the time, right? White people are the only people that I see try to copy a culture that's not theirs. What's white culture? What does it look like? Steal, right? Unseasoned food, mayonnaise, right? Rape, rob, and murder. Nothing that makes them desirable, right? White people are just all around weird. It just is. Listen, you agree, don't you? Look at you. I saw you smiling about it. You know y'all, hey, look, you know your people weird, right? I can't believe it. White people don't have a culture. Watch this. Hey, buddy. Dog. Right, come here, let me ask you something. Real quick. Couple of seconds. I just want you to answer something. Tell me what white culture looks like. You see that? He even has to mimic, what's up with it? He even has to mimic our own style. He got a brother walking next to him that he's copying. Like the token black. Look, I have a black friend, right? I got three black friends, but they all like him, right? They're gentrified. Their mind is gone. They can't see the oppression and downfall of their people. But look, to get back to the point, right? When I'm looking at this graduation, this ceremony, the crowd is going crazy, right? Whenever they finally give their last speech, the crowd is in the uproar. Everybody's clapping, they're cheering, right? Let's look at how the scriptures paint that picture for the elect whenever they come back, right? Let's get Wisdom of Solomon 5 starting from the top. Ooh, wait. I want you to read it in the CB. I got it for you right here, right? To read that motherfucker in the CB.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon 5:1 in the
oh, that's a lot. And,
what happened?
Man, where'd it go? Oh, there we go. Did I not do it? Yeah, anyway, no matter. Go ahead.
It says, then the one who did do what was right would stand up with full confidence.
So the one that kept the commandments of God, the one that did what was right was going to stand up full confidence, chest out, head high, right?
In the very midst of those who caused his suffering and made light of his distress.
So so they're going to stand up proud amongst those that made their life trialsome, right? Full of tribulation, full of hardship, right? Keep going.
They will tremble with great fear when they see him, and they will be amazed that he was delivered so unexpectedly.
So they're going to be shocked that black people, Hispanic people, Native American people were saved. How? Why them? They're the crazy ones. The brothers that's on the street corners, they're going to look at y'all like, they look at us like we're crazy. I didn't really realize that until brothers put that in perspective that niggas think we crazy for real. And I didn't think that. I was like, we're crazy? For what? It's just what it says. It's wild to think that there's a God that only loves one group of people. Is it crazy to think that there's a God that only loves one group of people? He wouldn't know. He's so gentrified. Look, ooh. A wigaboo, right? What do you call these wiggaboos? Right, go ahead.
Verse 3, they would sing a different tune that say, grabs and say to themselves, he's the one we mock, he's the one we insulted.
So they gonna look at us and say, bro, those are the ones we mocked. Those are the ones we kicked while they was down, right? We insulted them while they was trying to build themselves up. We prohibited them from being able to even build themselves up, right? Keep going.
What it is, well, we thought his life was madness and his death a disgrace.
Because they thought we was crazy. They thought there was no reason to come out here and teach blacks and Hispanics that they are the greatest people on the face of the planet and that they got to come back to the God of the Bible so he can exalt us, right, back to our state. Keep going.
How is it that he's now counted among God's children? How is it that he's now considered one of the saints?
How is it that these niggas are counted as God's chosen, right? How is that possible? But let me ask y'all something. What's good with y'all? Hey, bro, you know, like 2 minutes? Can I get 2 minutes? A minute? A couple of seconds? Huh? Right? Hey, black people, Hispanic people, and Native American people are God's chosen people, man. It's time to come back to this book, right? When you think about our women, right, we got the most beautiful women on the planet. Ain't that right, sisters? Ooh, she said, I'm just going to strut and not talk. I see you, sister. I get it.
That's the one
right?
That said they had no brain.
Hey, look, they the ones that had their nose up and while they walking and just shaking their hair in the back because they don't want to listen to what we got to say, right? Keep going.
Oh, my bad. Clearly, we were the ones who missed the way of truth. The light that would have shown us the right thing to do hasn't shown for us.
Right. So whenever it was time for us to do the right thing, right? What did they do? They what does that say in 2 Esdras 9? It says they loathed the law, right? They hated it. They didn't want to listen to it. They didn't want to hearken. It seemed better to just be in wickedness. It seemed easy. Right? Keep going. Let me see where we at. Let's get down. Let's get down a little bit.
Verse 7.
No, let's get down to like verse, like in the teens, like 13.
13.
He said that's why. He said that's us.
Right here.
He said we came into being. Yeah, there you go.
Verse 13. That's us. We came into being, and almost immediately afterward, we died. We leave behind no evidence of virtue. We squandered what we had in bad living.
So they looking at it like, bro, we're the ones that mocked them, right? Let's keep going. Hold on. There's here we go. Verse what is that? 15.
Yeah. In contrast, who do the right thing? It's like in contrast, those who do the right thing live forever. Their reward comes from the Lord. The Most High takes care of them. For this reason, they will receive a lovely palace and a beautiful royal crown from the Lord Himself.
That's what I'm saying, bro. We're gonna receive. That's our desire, right? That's our trial. That's the trial of our faith. That's what we're hoping for. That's the patience of the saints, right? That we get that crown, that we get put back on top, right? We can't fathom the kingdom. When you start thinking about how the kingdom's gonna be, we can't fathom it. The best we can do is make movies that kind of mimic what it might look like. That's why you get Black Panther looking how he's looking, how the civilization is still tribal yet high tech, right? They're simple and complex at the same time. We try to mimic what we think the kingdom is going to be like, right? It's just not possible. So when I'm looking at graduation, college graduation, right? We have the magna cum laude, right? You have the summa cum laude. Well, I say because those words are Latin, right? I say we propose a term in Hebrew, which is Ram Kabod, right? Why do I say that? Ram means to exalt or the exalted, right? High, right? Kabod, right, means honorary, right? Weighty. Because when you're thinking about having honor, being honorable, that's a weighty thing. That matters. See what I'm saying? It's something that can't go away. That's why the scripture says in Matthew 11 that the least in the kingdom are going to be greater than John the Baptist. We're going to be known for generations. Our kids are going to have stories about how the prophets prophesied against the evils of this world and prevailed. Think about that. You understand what I'm saying? That's why our people got to come back. Now get your precept in Matthew 25. I know you had it. That's what's important, right? That's why it matters. That's why we come out here and teach our people that blacks and Hispanics are the greatest people on the face of the planet and that they got to come back and start keeping the commandments, man. That's why we come out here, we do this, because we love our people, right? We want to see our people doing good, being exalted, right? Being godly and holy unto the Lord, right?
The book of Matthew chapter 25 and verse 20. And so that he received 5 talents, came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more.
So what he's saying is, the Lord gave me something. He gave me a talent. He gave me a capability, a skill, a purpose. And I came back with more. I came back and exceeded that which you have gave me, right?
Verse 21, his Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant.
Well done, thou good and faithful servant. See, we can't comprehend how good that's going to feel for us to feel that. When the Lord finally says something to us and says, well done, my good and faithful servant. We want to hear that. That's our faith, right? How y'all sisters doing? Huh? Y'all strutting? Huh? Y'all strutting on the Houston streets? Right, you going.
Well done, thy good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord.
That's the joy of the Lord, right? Because I gave you a little bit to be over. I gave you something small, something that I want to see if you can handle it, and you multiplied it. You multiplied your talents. So because you multiplied your talents, I'm going to give you a crown of life. I'm going to give you a diploma. I'm going to give you proof that you have endured until the end. Your reward, people. And that's what our focus is. You got a question?
In the Bible, Esther was a queen.
People, that's the first time I've ever been confounded, right? And had nothing to say. She said Esther was a queen. I'm like, before I even try to debate that, what the fuck does that have to do with what I'm talking about? You done threw me off my point. Oh, a rock in the pool, right? What's good, brother? How you feeling? So, brother, but how you feel about the sun? Come talk to me. You said the spirit is the spirit? What's that supposed to mean?
Now I can see and I believe.
Okay. Okay, cool. So, okay, let me ask you this then. Did Christ look like this? Like, forget all the horns, that, and the tongue and stuff. Did Christ look like that? Okay.
So the Father gonna let us know, no matter what, He let us know, like, all right, touch my son, touch my leader, touch my.
So the Father gonna show you. Cool. So how does the Father show us things?
Visions that we see.
Visions?
Yeah.
Get Hebrews 1, right? Get Hebrews 1 verse. Get Hebrews 1. I'm gonna show you something right quick. Okay? Is that okay? Right? Verse 1. We'll start at the top.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 1, verse 1. God, who at sundry times in divers manners spake in time past unto fathers by the prophets.
Right, so it's saying back in the day, right? God spoke to us through the prophets, right? So whenever we want to know something, we go to the prophets, we go to the priests, right? Cool, keep going.
Hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things.
Cool, so we see here that in the last days, God has spoken unto us through his Son, right? So whatever Christ said, we gotta believe, right? That's right. Get John 7:38. Go ahead.
That's why in life you always have to be patient.
Gotta be patient.
It's take things slow.
Patience is a virtue, right?
Because we move so fast and we take our time, just like they say, well, like what they told my mom, well, your son gonna be special, he's gonna be kind of slow. That means he do things slow and take his time.
Right.
So she say, always believe in God and always, no matter what.
Right.
No matter what.
Always believe in the word, right?
Well,
Right.
I just say God.
Well,
I'm not no Christian or all that, none of that.
and neither are we.
But I believe in God. That's
Right.
all.
We all believe in God up here, right? Right. We don't want anything. We don't want any other thing to cloud our judgment, right? Cool. So we want to just read it based off what the book say and just believe what it says. We don't want nobody trying to tell me what it say. Nothing, right? Let's read it.
I got a piece of what he said as well. You want John 7 and 38?
Yeah.
This book will say, John chapter 7 and verse 38. He that believeth on me, as the scripture has said.
Hold on, what color are the words?
Red.
So whenever the words are red, that's what? I mean, it's Christ speaking, right? Cool.
He that believeth on me, as the scripture has said.
So Christ said, if you believe on him as the scripture said, right? That's true, right? Cool. So let's get Revelation 1 and 14. Let's get him to be another one Christ speaking.
This real though, brother, because like I mess with blood real tough.
Okay.
And they like, man, what I can say about you, about man, you're the same person every day. There's something about you, a good person.
You don't change, huh?
Because I want to build motivation speakers for people that have been special ed, like stuff like that. And I want to be in there so I can help them. Because I've been in every world, you know what I'm saying? Because I told them, man, look, I'm hungry.
Right.
I want to have water world. We don't have
Some, yeah.
water world means we just slow. We take our time to do things. And people like, man, how they do that? No. That's why we got to know how to treat these spirits. I believe in you. I have faith in you.
You know what's crazy? You know Christ said he's the same yesterday, today. Well, you know the Bible said that Christ is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow, right? That's crazy, right? So we're going to read about the depiction of Christ and see, and I'm going to ask you, is that depiction going to be the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow? Right, let's get it.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 14.
Right.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So we're looking at the book of Revelation, chapter 1, right? John is giving a depiction of who he sees, right? It's a depiction. So, or he's getting a vision and he's looking at this image.
That's like if I die, I'm gonna see your head. I'm gonna see your head. I'm gonna be rolling up and up and up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it goes to like different galaxies and all this stuff.
All that, right?
Because your spirit gonna be going. You know what I'm saying? Because like father leaders, it's father figures.
Right. Right. So watch this right quick though, brother. I'm gonna show you something, right?
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Right. So Christ's head, right, was white like wool, right? It was a woolly texture, right? You know, black people have woolly texture. You have woolly texture hair, right? Keep going.
As white as snow.
So it was a woolly texture hair that was white as snow, right? Cool. Keep going.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Right.
And his feet were like unto fine brass.
So if your feet are brown, what color is the rest of your body? Brown, right? Keep going.
As if they burn in a furnace.
So now it's dark, right? So he's a dark-skinned brother with woolly hair. He looks like a black man, right? Cool. So if that depicted Christ 2,000 years ago, and Christ is supposed to be the same yesterday, today, and forever, who is that? That's crazy, huh? That's crazy to think about, right? Look at some, huh? Hey, that's crazy to think about. So now we're thinking about something, because you said something important earlier that I like. You said that you don't really want to get into Christianity and all that. You just want to believe in God. How did God say, right?
Like, this is my perspective, right?
Okay.
We all people.
Right.
We all people. Like, it's all like me.
Okay.
So it ain't a color thing. It ain't none of that. You know what I'm saying?
It's not a color thing. It's a bloodline thing.
It's a love thing.
You gotta love your own people. You gotta love people. Oh, my bad. You have to love your neighbor as yourself, right? And understand it, right? Because understanding goes in with love. If you love somebody, you're gonna look to understand them, right? So you have to understand your neighbor. You have to love your neighbor as yourself. Well, that commandment was given to who the Bible teaches are the Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
My perspective is,
Go ahead.
you trust the leaders, the ones that he can touch. And it's always this here, like, you know what, I gotta talk to this person.
You know, get Isaiah 30. There's a prime example of that in the Bible.
What do you say?
Isaiah 30. He was saying that he's gonna set. I mean, the guy's always gonna set up teachers to show. You know what I'm saying, right?
I love what you're doing.
Uh-huh.
Please keep doing this, man. We need this.
We do.
This big city need to just be all, woo, you know what I'm saying? Then, hey, Father, trust the leaders, don't trust the ones down here.
Right. Yeah, take our card, brother. Right? You got him?
Yeah, go. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter
30 verse 21.
30 verse 20. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thy eyes shall see thy teachers.
So you're gonna see your teachers. Oh, the Most High gives you the water of the bread of adversity, right? The water of affliction, right? He's gonna put you through things, right? He's gonna cause you to maybe doubt your faith. You never know, right? But he's gonna make sure that your teachers are always seen. You can always come talk to your teachers, right? That's who we are right now. That's what we're doing, right? Keep going.
And thy ears shall hear a word behind thee saying, this is the way, walk ye in it, when you turn to the right hand and when you turn to the left.
So whenever you're turning to the right, and to the left hand, you're gonna have somebody there telling you, no, this is the way, walk ye in it. All we're saying is to follow the Bible. We're not telling you to follow religion. We don't want you to follow religion, because Christianity is religion, right? If you want to get technical, of course, just for the edification's sake, right? The Bible teaches a ethno-religion, right? Meaning that it is a belief or a discipline.
Can we have a check?
I got you, baby. Big chains on my neck, I'm a big bro. Turned up in this bitch like it's a new one. What I'm talking about, baby? 'Cause eyes on my face, baby, I can't see you. I can't see you. Bitch, making noise, dog. Check that VU. Making noise, big chains on my neck, I'm a big bro. Turned up in this bitch like it's a new one. 'Cause eyes on my face, baby, I can't see you. I can't see you. Bitch, making noise, dog.